Um, Eto, hi. Hi, it's Wisteria Cassiopei. So, yeah, it's more fucking dying light today. Excuse me. I, I'm just playing on the same save that I was doing a bit of testing with to make sure that the game, like, didn't commit seppuku. Sometimes this game is a little comedic. Let's see. Can I... Oh. Yeah, so really all I've done is I've just, like, run around the map a bit to test my my performance. So I haven't really done anything. I am wondering what's over here. So I'm just gonna run over there. Yeah. I got them brainworms in me right now. That RFK Jr. special. Is this... Yeah, no, I'm going the right direction. Supposedly, Restored Land kills all those, or leaves all the dead zombies. But, there's quite a few zombies still left in this area that I've definitely cleared out before. Okay, but I need to go to Town Hall. That part wasn't, that wasn't on stream, but yes, I need to go to Town Hall, and I need to... Yeah, Old Town. I need to go to Old Town to save some people. Yeah. Track. Thanky McSpankies. I've been dealing a lot with the idea of, like, what my career as a VTuber should be, and I'm not really sure anymore what I should do, because I do enjoy this, and I do like having, like, these kinds of chats, but fundamentally, I mean, it does take a lot of my time, and a lot of my time is not really recuperated for the cost of living. So, yeah, that's just kind of...
To survive out in the open, you need to take advantage
sucks.
of the terrain. Most biters can't climb, so getting up high can be a good strategy.
Oof.
Stay to
piece.
the rooftops and move through tight spaces to keep them from following you.
This is very Dying Light 2 coded. Like old Villador. Also, a little bit more like Haran. Like the architecture and infrastructure are more like Haran, but it's structured a bit more like ooh. Well, that's a big gate. That's not
What
good.
the hell happened here?
Yeah. Gun? The good old rattle can special. Hmm. Why did I let him grab me? I have judo. Or grapples. Get knocked over, fucking idiot. Stupid. Well, that's just wonderful. So, what happened? Uh, yeah, my PC decided to completely crash, and it seems like I cannot play Dying Like the Beast on stream. Cool, great, love it, absolutely wonderful. I guess I'll change the name of the stream to reflect whatever else I'm gonna do instead. Sorry, just give me a sec. I'm gonna swap to Limbus Company. Cause, cause, cause God hates me.
Limbus Company.
And I need to catch up on the story, so... And then I'm gonna set a temporary thumbnail, and then I will get the game going. Oh no, it's only my old model. Oh shit. You know what? Fuck it. I'll just make a new one right here, right now. 16 by 9? The hell? Okay, and then game capture. Limbus Company. Limbus Company. Is this where I want it? Oh, I have the entire group locked too. Just want to move you. Not the fucking group. Oops. Well, that's good enough. I'll move that back down. There we go. Ow! Ow! My entire left side is like in pressure now. Oh. Let me do my dailies. And then we'll begin. Ow. Fuck. Yeah, that really hurt. That sneeze was not comfortable. Yeah, I was right in the middle of rebuilding my team to include the ring, because I rolled for Falvist Docent Rhodia. I think this is a good ego setup for her. She doesn't have shit for options in terms of ego for her Teth. Yeah, Tath and Cyan. Her Wall and her, they have some options. She's kind of been neglected for ego specifically, but like Ramshank is fine. Hexnail Pursuance are fine. With Match Flame, I think is okay. Anakin's Trial and Sanguine Desire are pretty good. Like Rhodia's fucking only bleed ego is actually pretty good. Like, really good? Like, why would you not use her? Right? This is bleed, burn. Ah. We don't use impending day in this household. Branch of knowledge, yeah. And since I don't have Mirso yet, I'm going to be using his Blood Fiend. I do have Blood Fiends equipped here, but I will throw on Ring Pointillist. I think I want Priest. What's his blood? Must res. One ally with lowest HP percentage heals 3 HP on hit 3 times per turn. If the target hit by the said ally has bleed, heal 3 additional HP. So 6 times 3, 18. 18 HP per turn. That's pretty good, honestly. As opposed to Night Owls, which I believe is a tremor-focused one. Oh, no, it's actually defense. Defense power. Oh, wow. Oh, I'm sounding a little congested now. E. Well, that'll eventually go away. Anywho. Yeah, House of Spiders, Pinky. I could use Middle Apprentice. Well, actually, she's focused on Envy. Yeah, she's focused on envy. So I'm not going to do that. Because we look at...
부름이라면
Excuse me.
기쁘게 나서지.
내 작품 시선.
문을
Look
열
at
시간.
부름이라면
소재가
what?
준비됐어?
내가
드디어 내 차례냐?
This spread. I think this spread is going to be
내가 진다. 출정이군요.
favorable.
명령이라면
원하신다면
명령이라면
원하신다면
나를 점 찍었다면 격에 맞는 조언도 함께 준비하도록.
So if we look at these new details. 11 Lust. Yeah, Ncorp and Ishmael, they both have envy. Mirso has envy. I mean, I'm going to be fielding all three of these. She has envy as well. Rodian. So, I could potentially do envy res, but I don't know if that would be the greatest idea. And
책임은 모두
I'll
원하신다면
throw him in
명령이라면
this order, I think,
출정이군요.
actually. But
이거
yeah,
참 설레는구려.
I'll do 1 XP Lux, and then I will go back to doing my thing. I'll do the story.
점 찍었네.
피가 튀겠고.
The good old auto win rate.
행진의 꽃. 이것이 서곡의 피날레다. 왕의 비호를
Dang,
하사하라.
he didn't have an empowered skill 3 or so. So he didn't actually get to do anything with it. Palette Abramte. Na 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 na. Mantra Parade. Oh yeah.
점
That's just Mark Lee.
찍었네. 따스한
왜? 좀 긁혔어?
I gotta
어중간한 예술은
kind of memorize what
물어뜯어 고칠 수밖에.
all Rhodia does. Because she's
소리와
not
호흡을
one
멈추고.
that I've seen super much of. Oh, I could totally do an Envy Res build. There's definitely the possibility of that. I'm looking at it and I'm like, I could totally run Envy Res. But that wouldn't be the main goal of the team.
점 찍었네. 합격장.
And if I did
나와 공을 맞대?
do Ishmael
따스한
as Kira,
스며드는군.
임파스터.
폭죽
That
소리가
would
들리는
mean-
것 같군. 때가 왔나.
I also get to inflict persistent burn after a point. Which would mean that
내
Ring
작품에
Pointillist,
의견이라도 있어?
his song can also do increased damage with his S2.
누가 누구에게
음,
말을
시드.
거는 거지?
She does tremor count. Yeah. Oh, yeah, yeah. So I can get 3. I can stack 3 on an enemy. And that will help increase his damage output. That could be
나가서
pretty
싸워.
smart,
뒤는
actually.
내가 봐주지.
오베르튜레.
Yeah,
왕의
maybe
귀
I'm a little bit of a thinker.
하사한다.
경외감 속에
Maybe I'm not much of a
가족이
stinker.
되게 약하고
Maybe I'm more of a
진노
thinker.
경. 어중간한 예술은
이제야
이 정도로 나와
완성되었네.
I wanna see how she
시선이
performs,
미워하지
though.
않도록.
Is the only issue. Kuramel, as opposed to Kuramel.
시연한다.
Yeah, I just hit the button and then the things do the things, and then I'm like, oh yay, I win.
왕의
Because
귀
this
하사한다.
is just a waiting game.
왜? 좀 긁혔어?
야,
Mi scusi.
목이 피었잖아.
이제야
40
완성되었나?
먹칠.
임파스터. 자꾸 보면 다른다.
Her passive. Limbus. Next attack 3. Ring student. IDs. Wait.
내 작품에 의견이라도
Oh,
있어?
wait, he's a student.
자꾸 보면 다른다.
But she doesn't have any. Limbus. Turn start. Limbus. And then turn end. This effect expires. Randomly apply a number of ring student IDs on the field, identity level up or defense level up to any two of the ring student identities. Combat end, inflict one palette vibrante. Well, it would be vibrante. Next turn to enemies that have multicolor rouge, blue, or touche hari simultaneously. Oh, wait, they need rouge, blue, and touche hari. Target has 3, 6, 9 multicolor rouge, blue, H, inflict 2, 3, 4, palette vibrante. That fools me. If any one of the following conditions is met, use critique. Inflicted palette vibrante 3 times counts as once per turn, regardless of the number of times inflicted during combat. Used critique 2 times. Used burst forth the pulsing crimson under your skin. Well, that sounds interesting. What is the activation condition? If target has 6 plus types of negative effects, activate as burst forth the pulsing crimson under your skin. 6 types of negative effects.
전부 쳐죽여!
벗어날 수 있다고 생각했나?
따스한 피. 너는 가족이 되기엔 약하군.
Maybe it would be good to use Nidal's Gregor. Because that'll increase the number of negative effects that I can inflict.
뜯겨나간 실처럼 엉망진창으로 도려내진 이 흉터들.
Because that's defense down.
설마 거미집이
What's
성공한 거야?
the
잠깐,
res?
그럼
Oh,
이럴
it's
때가
res.
아니지. 돌아가서 마에스트로 씨에게 말해줘야 해. 이 복도 어딘가에
Will
모든
she ever
손가락이
stop
탐낼
talking?
만한 걸작이 있다는 걸.
Res. Eh. So, what? House of Spiders, Middle Apprentice. Pequod Harpooner? Like, Pequod Harpooner is literally just built to be a middle unit, except he's not technically a middle unit. Yeah, he doesn't have the middle tag because he's technically former. Well, not technically, he is former. Hook Honglu is a very tempting pick to use on this team. How close am I to getting Faust? Not super close. Honglu is actually further away. $260. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Maybe I should change the stream title so that it actually reflects that I'm doing Winding threads. More like frayed edges. No, that's a terrible title. Twining threads. Damn, that is fucking loud. Okay, at least I didn't get caught up on the mic, but damn, that was loud. My grandparents really love blasting the speakers. We're doing tailoring now. Funeral? Is this for Mort? Yeah. Oh, Martin. I misread his name and thought it was an O. Funeral was held for Martin and the LCE researchers today. I thought I'd seen more than my fair share of deaths throughout my journey with the sinners. Excuse me, hold up. Sorry about that. I took my meds this morning, so I wasn't expecting to need to, take my inhaler. Let me read that last line again. I thought I'd seen more than my fair share of deaths throughout my journey with the sinners, but never before had I witnessed this many people gather in one place to mourn the deceased together. The unfamiliarity made me feel a bit place. Bronchodilation go brrr. Yeah. Unfortunately, yeah, I had to take my inhaler. Am I doing this right? Most of the sinners seemed to be feeling that similar sense of being out of their element as well. Some of them were asking Mirso, apparently the most knowledgeable of them all when it came to funeral process and etiquette. No fucking way, No fucking way they're asking the autistic guy about the funeral process and etiquette. No. Nah. Sorry, that sounds a little out of place, but it's relevant to the stranger if so he may have it memorized now, but not when he was actually at a funeral. I would explain it, but it is related to The Stranger, L'étranger, which is a book that Mirso comes from. Oh, I don't have my copy anymore. Otherwise, I could probably read a passage from it because I think it's Public Works. Eh? Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna get food really quick, I guess, because apparently I just got told the food's arrived. So, I will be back in a sec. I really hate to have to pick up so randomly, but I'll be back in a sec. Bye-bye. See you back. Hi, I'm back. I just got my food in front of me, so I'm gonna... Okay, I might have to use my inhaler again. God damn it. Bum, 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 bum. Oh, won't be public works until 2038. I'm... I don't have my copy because I lent it to my teacher. So I can't... So I can't exactly get the full passage, but more or less what the situation is that he is at his mother's funeral. This is like right at the beginning of the book. He's at his mother's funeral. And since he is, well, he's autistic. He's very autistic. Like, canonically, very, very, abject socially. He, doesn't quite fit in. Expressing respect is the primary purpose. Hand placement and gesture are unimportant if that objective can be accomplished. He is definitely not touched by God. That is said in the text. He has no soul. He is accused of not having a soul. Hey, where do I put this? Beneath the third pillar to the right. And... God damn. I'm sorry, I keep... Okay. That might be done now. Maybe I can take a sip of my tea and clear my throat out better. It's peach black tea from Osu Lock. It's pretty alright. I have some honey in it for what should be clear reasons. So yeah, I mean it's really good. It's really good. Can't any of you quit chattering for 1 second? Have you all forgotten the instruction to carry yourselves with solemn propriety that befits the occasion? Be some slack. I haven't been to funerals all that much. I mean, I did tell you to read the manual. I even underlined all the important parts for you. Sorry, Issue. The wall of text was just too much for me. My focus started fizzling out from page 30... 30 onwards? Hadn't every sinner here attended a funeral before, back when we set foot in that grim manor in T-Corp? Ah, thou speakest of the funeral held in young Heathcliff's manor, dost thou not? The one bereft of the dead? Bereft of the dead? I mean, someone had to have died, because there wouldn't have been a... Slight story spoiler if you're not, like, familiar with it, but there is a character that they're referring to, but she doesn't exist in this timeline. Technically. Well, the memory of her doesn't exist in this timeline. Bereft of the dead? I mean, someone had to have died, because there wouldn't have been a property dispute big enough to involve the Ufi Association's notarization. Otherwise, I said this time and time again, but it was just an intentional anonymity to prevent family strife. Intentional anonymity is it. The situation was indeed as thou sayest, and there was no helping it, forsooth. Yet, why would you put forsooth there? Yet, 'tis a pity that the dead wasn't named at their own funeral. The name of the deceased was... It was Catherine's funeral. She was very dear to Heathcliff. I have thoroughly reviewed the past 5 years' worth of local newspapers pertaining to the matter, yet no such name relevant to the case was identified, manager. It's fine, Clockhead. At least remember, that's good enough, innit? Ain't it, bruv? Ain't it, bruv? It had to be the Golden Bow's influence. Somewhere along the way, everyone's memories of the event at Wuthering Heights had become warped. The sinners seemed to think that the Golden Bow had always been there in that manner, and that Nellie was coaxed into stealing it by Herman. Linton, in their minds, was now a grieving brother who had been conducting research for his dead sister's sake. Nobody questioned it. Not Don Quixote, not Faust. Every single sinner believed the twisted version of the memory as if it was a proven fact. Heathcliff and I gave up trying to correct them. Instead, we just check in on each other's memories every now and then. Because if there's something that he and I realized, it was that anything tied to Catherine had already been painted over, every detail gilded and glossed over with the glow of the bow. The point is, how should I put this? The circumstances of that funeral didn't exactly leave us much room to properly express our condolences back then. Between Heathcliff running on a rampage and that Hindley guy bent on interfering with the execution of the will... Tick-tock, 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 tick-tick-tock, tick. I assume that sort of impediment was common stuff for funerals, but apparently not, huh? No, well, it's actually... no, well, I think it's actually rare to see a place that follows proper funeral procedures. I've traveled around quite a bit myself, but I can't confidently say that I've ever been to a legitimate funeral. The one at Wuthering Heights was one of the more proper funerals, if only for pretending to have a process. They at least prepared a coffin and even had a formal reading of the will. It seems funerals are far from being an everyday custom in the city. Funerals are considered a rather extravagant practice here as well. Corporations are not eager to grant time offs, just because an irrelevant someone has died, and the price of real estate seldom makes it viable to buy land and erect memorial houses on it. Then, what other options do people usually have? We used to just leave them where they died, and after one night's sleep, the bodies were gone, just like that. Better than paying loads of money to bury them somewhere just to have that stir up a load of daft rumors, huh? Rumors? You know, rumors about there being valuables buried with the bodies, or an arm being some fancy prosthesis, or all that rot. Better to let the dead go in peace than to bury them in a grave just for some sons to later desecrate it. In Hongyan, people tend to set up graves if they have enough room to spare. Of course, there wasn't a guarantee they wouldn't lose the burial room by the next restructuring day. Hohenheim scoffed and hung his head. Odious foolishness, all of it. Comforting the soul of the departed, another mendacity. All of those funds, so carelessly squandered, all for the purpose of furnishing the living with a fragile excuse to cling on. Jeez. Are those words from his heart, or just something he said to convince himself? Whichever was the truth, I couldn't see the look on his face, with his head tucked so low. The funeral didn't last long. was just a brief moment of silence followed by a few quick goodbyes that were shorter still. The ceremony came to a close once Alyssa, who was still in recovery, came to pay her final respects. The flames devoured the coffins of Martin and the other researchers, announcing the end of their existence with a crackle of firewood. So, I suppose you'll be leaving now? Oh, we're staying until Gregor's stable enough to travel. Dante says we'll remain here until Gregor's condition settles. Ah. To explain, Dante, the guy with the clock for a head, he can only speak in TikToks. Like the ticking of a clock. Yep. Gregor came to his senses again a few days after his unforeseen metamorphosis in the battle against the Thumb nurse father. He was given a checkup, and Hohenheim said there was no cause for concern. Physically, that is, the psychological assessment turned up disastrous, to say the least. Gregor was declared unfit for combat deployment for the time being, so he won't be leaving just yet. Dunno. Oh, oops. Then I assume you'll be okay with us borrowing Sinclair for a while? Me? Yes, you. The LCE wants to look into the sign you manifested, Sinclair. The higher-ups didn't waste a second greenlighting the project, which means what I'm telling you is more of a notice of investigation than a request for permission. Huh? What? Investigation? What do you... It's just a rather rudimentary instance of human experimentation. Calm yourself. Human experimentation? Did you really have to put it like that, boss? Not to worry, Sinclair. A swipe or two on your skin and maybe some talk therapy. That's all there is to it. Of course, if we had your consent, the avenues of research could be vastly... No, I'm not giving you my consent. For your reference, the other departments have also submitted some quite enthusiastic requests for research and observational purposes. Oh, you have no idea. We had to get the boss to fend off the LCA's Mirror World Observatorium department and their hissy fits. They wanted to be the first ones to get their hands on you and spearhead the research, you see. And had we allowed them, they'd have kept you for a few good months before letting you go. So the least you could do to thank us is be a good boy and cooperate. Just in time, our researchers are here. Alyssa waved at the researchers who were filling out the funeral hall after paying their respects. It wasn't long before Sinclair found himself surrounded on all sides. Wait, I am perfectly capable of walking there on my own, so just don't run any painful tests on me. Of course. Stay strong, Sinclair. All I could do was offer an unspoken encouragement to Sinclair, who sounded ready to collapse into full-blown panic any minute. What about you? You not going with him? Oh, it's back to the long-term recovery ward for me. I always thought scientific research was the one thing that flamed my passion, but with recent events having introduced me to the merits of paid sick leave, I realized the time off beats research projects in my book marginally. Enjoy it while it lasts. I highly suspect that every request for PTO submitted by our department will be rejected for the rest of the year. Well, it's true your average corporation doesn't give more than a week off a year. As soon as Alyssa trudged off with her dragging steps, the researchers seized Sinclair and whisked, carried, really, him away. Alright, we should get going too. Oh, do you all have somewhere else to be? Well, I thought I'd go visit Gregor. I'm worried about him. Bought something I'd set up with. Gotta be there for it. I'm going with Sinclair to get some rest. Also to keep an eye on the researchers and stop them if they try anything fishy with the experiments. Let me know later if you need anything, Dante. The sinners fanned out in different directions. They seemed to have their own errands to run during our stay at the LCE. Everyone's busy with their own thing. The only ones keeping me company now are Ryoshu, who had been filling the air around thick with cigarette smoke, and Don Quixote, who was sniffing and asking around at every corner for Vespa in a valiant quest for the new killer fixer's whereabouts. Faust was still here too, staring blankly into the air. Was she accessing the Gesellschaft? You seem to have some time to spare, manager. As I stood there, wondering what I should do next to pass the time, Hohenheim, who had apparently finished tackling and signing the stack of papers, walked over to me. This makes things rather convenient. There is something I had intended to discuss with you and Cineryoshi, a matter that requires your assistance. What kind of assistance? WKOA, says CH. Wait a minute, did Yoshi just step in as my interpreter? It's not that I don't appreciate her gesture, especially since she usually stab at me and tell me to find something else to interpret whenever the issue came up. But I can't help but doubt whether her choice method of interpretation actually accomplishes anything. There is, I must admit, a certain novelty in witnessing the reconstitution of that which requires interpretation into yet another linguistic from equally demanding of it. It would seem we are in need of more manpower. Scratching his head, Hohenheim looked around for a moment before coming to a sudden pause as though an idea had crossed his mind. At the end of his gaze was a certain someone who was busy badgering LCCA employees with a relentless questioning. Well, pray might know where he is if thou knowest not. And now listen closely. The one I seek is a bearer of hair fashioned in the likeness of a bull. You there? Why don't you join us too? Dost thou speak of me? The LCCA personnel who were cornered by Don Quixote and her rather forceful interrogation regarding Vespa's whereabouts took the opportunity and fled the scene without so much as a backward glance the moment their captor turned her head to answer Hohenheim. Indeed, there is a task that requires your assistance. But I have yet more words to trade with the most noble Yellow Harpoon. You seek to emulate the virtue of chivalry. Does that entail turning down the earnest plea of those in need? For the sake of clarity and distinction, it would be prudent to assign you to a different identifier from that of my assistant. You are to be number 2, that is, assistant number 2. I have not yet concluded my exchange with the Yellow Harpoon, but no true knight would abandon those who call for aid. Pray, speak thy quest. How may I be of service to thee? Delegating the interpretation of the manager's speech to Sinner number 4, has proven to be counterproductive. As such, your task will be to report to me what the manager says. Oh, that is indeed a simple task. However, this WKOA eludeth mine understanding as well. Prithee, allow me but a little time to uncover its mystery. Really, the manager's words, not Cineriosh's. They're asking you what kind of assistance you need. The request for interpretation was not directed to you, but I cannot deny that your meddling, in the present circumstance, is a welcome one. It was simply that the irrationality and inefficiency of your suboptimal staffing choice and workflow have become sufficiently unbearable. Faust hopes this is not some guileful scheme devised to elicit Faust's cooperation. In any case, manager, this request of mine concerns an investigation of the back doors located in the House of Spiders. I deem that the two of you should be the ones most familiar with the structure and layout of the house. After all, you were the one monitoring the entirety of the 5-pronged assault operation, and Sim number 4's familiarity does not bear repeating. Do we go to the House of Spiders right away? HOSRA? You have assisted enough. Perhaps you could, help Faust. Sure. Although, not for word, Faust relayed my intention to Hohenheim, who responded by shaking his head. Not immediately, no. There is one member you should bring along. One more member? Seeing me tilting my head, Hohenheim pushed up his glasses. The apprentice, who was captured alive in the House of Spiders. Kira. She has regained consciousness. So this is the reason she's being brought in. One moment. I will eat a breadstick. This breadstick's really good. Sorry, I had to clear my mouth. So, just for reference, Kira, the purple girl, she was cut in half. Like, bisected just above the waist. The place Hohenheim led us to looked less like a recovery ward and more like an interrogation chamber. Though every single piece of medical equipment installed around seemed to be state-of-the-art. This place looks well-equipped. Probably a direct order from upper management. Although technologies to restore lost body parts are common enough in the city, a facility of this kind is required to preserve the original form of her lower body in the reconstruction process while keeping the cost reasonable. Reasonable, huh? Don't want to ask how expensive the other options are if this counts as reasonable? A windowless room thick with this sharp scent of medicine and chemicals. Oh yeah, you can see the scar. Sheesh. Kira was sitting on the bed at the center of the room, kicking her feet as she regarded us. For someone recovering from bisection, she didn't look much different from how she'd appeared when I'd seen her through the Sinner's shared vision. She was captured alive for the extraction of information, yes? How far along is the progress of the extraction? It hasn't actually yet begun. We are waiting until the lines of information that warrant question can be isolated. So far, all available personnel have been fully engaged in analyzing the documents and items discovered in the House of Spiders. Then what's she even doing here? There's work to be done contingent upon information obtainable only from a recent inhabitant of the House of Spiders. Following a discussion with upper management, I decided to put you to use as the company had originally intended. No TV, no comic books, just a super prickly glare and a cold shoulder whenever I ask for something to pass the time. And now you suddenly need my help, huh? Give me one reason I should cooperate. One moment. Hohenheim didn't so much as twitch an eyebrow at Kira's biting tone. He merely gave her a nod with a steely, imperturbable expression. I didn't ask for your help. Put you to use, I believe is what I said. What? Your survival is not incidental. It is the result of a calculation. The company anticipates a potential profit by keeping you alive. Expected gain as the term goes. Without such a forecast on the company's part, you would have already been disposed of. The upper management consists of people who would have been disinclined to tolerate the daily maintenance and depreciation costs of this room, even at half their current numbers. Which brings us to our next point. Should you insist on maintaining this uncooperative attitude, the company may decide to convene a meeting to reassess your worth, or, shall we say, lack thereof, in its projected income statement. Well, suffice to say that a reassessment would skew heavily against your favor. The outcome would be a recommendation for immediate disposal. Hohenheim always had a way with words that could prickle and sting. But with Kira, it almost felt as if he traded the usual thorn off for a sharper knife, intent on twisting it right where it hurt. I'm dead meat as soon as my usefulness runs out, anyway. It's not like you're gonna let me live, not after I killed a bazillion of you guys. So you anticipated some form of a corporate-level retaliatory response against your person. That is indeed a curious line of reasoning. But I must tell you that, unlike your typical backstreet syndicate, such as the Middle, corporate entities of the city tend to avoid choices that may incur lawsuits. The value of the information that can be extracted from an apprentice of the Middle, and the combat prowess honed under the tutelage of a great brother of the Middle, these two considerations are likely what increase your value in the eyes of the company. Y'all got zero self-respect, huh? You should consider yourself fortunate. Huh? The heck are you on about? Other companies would not solicit your cooperation by means of a verbal exchange. Your interrogator would simply open up your cranium, harvest your brain, and extract any and all necessary information without going through intermediary steps such as this. Even without resorting to such methods, the range of available means to compel the disclosure of information is practically limitless. Truth serums, hypnotic suggestions, electrical shocks and stimulations, and of course, procedures utilizing distortions and abnormalities. That being said, The LSE department prefers to distance itself from such uncivilized approaches that may entail complications and after effects. I do hope that we share a similar predilection. You're so freaking annoying, you know that, mister? The feeling is entirely mutual. Leaving the biting chill of this threats to sink in, Hohenheim turned towards the exit. Give her some push and bring her along. I don't quite seem to be myself today. Don't disregard that. That was too... That too was a rather foolish thing to say. I will defer this matter to you, manager. Work of this sort likely falls more within your capabilities than my own. With that, Hohenheim stepped out of the room, leaving me to deal with Kira. His reaction was understandable. The LCE had only just finished laying its dead researchers to rest. Kira was probably the last person anyone would want to face right now, much less speak to. What should I even say to persuade her? I was still caught in thought when someone, quite unexpectedly, made her way to Kira. Yoshide? You. I heard you got stabbed in the back by Matthias. That's not true. Papa wasn't landing a fatal blow unless it cut through me, too. And that's why he did it. To aim for the enemy's head. Besides, he made the right choice. A little sacrifice ain't a thing in a family. Family. Coming from him. A middle mutt thrown out of his kennel. Doesn't it sound ridiculous, even to you? That's... thrown out? That fucker Matthias was a GB only by technicality. He fucked up badly. He was still family by name, but underneath it, everyone hoped he'd disappear quietly on his own. He was that family member nobody wanted around. Same treatment for me, being his brat. Not surprising it's the ST for the bull cut, too. Same tastes? Oh, young Ryoshu, could it be that thou also dost harbor a passionate zeal for the fix? I quickly clapped a hand over Don Quixote's mouth as she smoothly chimed into the conversation. So what exactly is your point? The point is you're taking too long. If you can't decide whether you want to live or die, I can shorten that hesitation. CQ, or I'll SYNC right this instant. Fuck, what is she even meaning by that? Cooperate quietly or I'll snap your neck completely right this instant. SYNC isn't such a bad way to go if you're keen on taking that loyalty act straight to the grave. This is so crappy. Whatever, I get it, okay? I'll talk if that's what you want so bad. That actually worked? It worked? It worked? The fixers who go out in a blaze of glory aren't actually the strong ones. It's the ones who survive, the ones who live to see another day and keep getting stronger. Anyway, Yoshihide, what's up with you talking in weird-ass abbreviations? Like SYNC? That's so random. Who even says that? Ryoshi didn't bother to reply. Ryoshi didn't bother to reply and simply chewed on the mouth end of her cigarette. But is this really the right call? To her, we're probably people she needs to settle the score with. As if. Half her tattoos are gone. Clock. They even confiscated her book. You think the middle sorry excuse for loyalty means so much for this stray that she'd bite us? Besides... No, better hear from her instead. Hey, tell me why Matthias kicked the bucket. That's because Papa was weaker than y'all. Yeah, you're the jerk's brat, alright. Kara pushed herself up from the bed with a sour face. At least she didn't argue back. We called Hohenheim, who had been waiting outside, back in. They assumed the prisoner was successfully persuaded. Come, you will find your weapon on the table. You may use it in the event of an emergency. What the hell? I can't even unsheath it. Ah, you won't be able to use it without authorization. The code has been slightly adjusted. Now then, let us head to the House of Spiders at once. The back doors is up and waiting for us. We made our way to the House of Spiders with Kira trailing behind, looking like she was smelling something particularly fishy on us. Oh? What is that icon? Oh, right. Yeah, I can't use Gregor.
나를 점 찍었다면 격에 맞는 조언도 함께 준비하도록.
Yeah, so it doesn't even matter. Doesn't even matter.
저 살점을 찢으면 더 붉게 칠해지겠지?
What? No, Krem. Only a few days had passed since our last visit, but the place looked markedly different from what we remembered. The sight of the hollow, frigid atmosphere and the endless stretch of corridors hadn't changed. But Callisto's so-called artworks were now covered in white sheets and unfamiliar devices were fixed all around the back doors. Prithee, who might those people thither be? Thither? W? They got a W on them. Are they part of W Corp? Our guarded reaction prompted Hohenheim to step forward and gesture to one of the oddly dressed speakers. Seems introductions are in order for both sides. This is team leader Alan from Wayfarer Company, who will be working with us on the investigation into the house's back doors. Wayfarer Company? Corporate entity partnered with Limbus Company, responsible for providing portal technology. It has, on prior occasion, been referred to as the new or aspirant W Corp, though the name is an unofficial one. Our employees also have taken to calling you the new L Corp, something we have in common, given that we are both chasing after the same horizon. Ooh! Ah, I remember. That company's vying to take W Corp's place, right? Okay, so we're getting a new W Corp as well. That's cool, because in earlier chapters, it was mentioned that W Corp was starting to falter, and they wanted to try and take H Corp's place to reinforce themselves. They've been losing money because they keep losing people in the back doors, or well, the slip space between destinations that they use for their W Corp trains. Which, I mean, if you're not familiar with that's kind of hard to explain, but yeah, in the city, instead of a subway, you take a little slip space journey that takes you to a dimension that has time moved 10,000, well, I think technically it's like 10 million, 100 million times slower, but you get to move through space freely. And so, yeah, I mean, people go crazy on those trains, and then some people started disappearing from them because distortions started taking place. The same horizon. He's probably talking about getting recognized as a wing. After all, the old L Corp had already fallen, while W Corp, from what I've heard, is free-falling at this point. And these are the manager and centers of the LCB Corporation, our field operations unit, frequently deployed to deal with on-site matters firsthand. They have more personnel, but the rest are tied up with other duties elsewhere. Only a handful will be joining this investigation effort. I understand. Field operation units are almost always understaffed anyway. The support you've provided is more than sufficient. Oh god, he's kind of attractive. Alan gave an understanding nod. The man slipped off his bulky helmet before extending his hand in greeting. Pleased to make your acquaintance. My name's Alan, of the Door Breach Team, number 4. Likewise. He's gonna die. Almost assuredly, this motherfucker's gonna get murdered. He's gonna get murked. Okay. Before Faust could even relay my reciprocal greeting, words spilled out of Alan's mouth in a strangely uneven rhythm, as if my ticking didn't bother him at all, like he was sticking to a script he had rehearsed. I've heard great things about you, Manager Jonte of Limbus Company, and the bus's team for performance. You capitalized on the suppression of distortions at T-Corp as leverage to push your products, and the profits were nothing short of staggering, I heard. Oh yeah, because L-Corp is selling monoliths. Oh yeah, we're supposed to be the distortion Oh yeah, we're supposed to be the distortion resolving specialist to the public, but that's what but what's that product part about? The manager says it's merely a matter of luck. They also look forward to working with you on this task. Oh, are you the interpreter? In that case, I'll be sure to consult the manager only when both of you are available. Sure. Faust didn't seem particularly pleased with the role Alan had pinned on her, but she nodded anyway. She quietly came to my side and answered my question, while Alan carried on with Hohenheim. He's referring to the monolith sales project. The credit was attributed to the LCB, at the express request of Mr. Hubert, T-Corp's executive director. Oh, so that's how the rumor spread, huh? We've reviewed the agreements. Now, if you understand, you'll be assisting in verifying what lies beyond the back doors. I'd appreciate it if you could share any prior knowledge what you have about where these back doors connect, as detailed as you make them, if you don't mind. Hohenheim fixed Kira with a pointed look. She's still in just basically sportswear, though Kira responded by defiantly cocking her head in a show of irritation. She still gave up a sliver of the information she had. Honestly, I've got pretty much nothing about this. If it's about Robo-Unk in his room? Okay. I'm not gonna say anything about that. I mean, I've seen Albina hit up that door and the other one over there when she was popping out to farm stuff, but farm? Oh, it's gathering material. I see. What kind of material? Human guts and all that. She'd come back hauling piles of them. So they're probably connected to some backstreets area. Backstreets, Any more details? You stop prying. You're low-key pissing me off. What? That's literally all I've got for real. For a moment, Alan leveled Kira with a stiff expression. And even before I could register what happened, Kira's head jerked to the side from a sudden punch by Alan. Urk. I thought Kira was nimble enough to dodge a surprise attack easily, but this one seemed to have caught her completely off guard. She stood there blinking, eyes round in rude surprise. Actually, it wasn't that he caught her off guard. It was the motion of the punch itself that somehow fell off. The fist being raised, the arm being extended, the blow making contact. The chain of actions was there, but just didn't look normal. Did you just hit me? What the hell's wrong with... As Kira reeled back from the unexpected strike, Don Quixote spoke up in a cold, sharp tone. Thou, what manner of discourtesy is this? With all that whining, I thought the brat could use a lesson or reminder of her place. I don't like Alan that much. Anymore? I had no intention of damaging your company asset, of course. I simply assumed the level of warning would not be inappropriate in this case. Team leader Alan. That sort of conduct may not be an issue in your organization, but it is here. Should it happen again, do understand that we may choose to terminate today's joint engagement without delay. My apologies. I will keep that in mind going forward. Alan stood down without arguing back, but Kira looked far from satisfied with how Hohenheim handled the situation. He gets to sock me in the face and walk off scot-free? So freaking annoying. Fortunately enough, her grumbling didn't escalate into her lashing out at Alan. That much just now, though. What was that? It exhibited a behavior that defied the standard laws of physics. Presumably a form of technology used by the Wayfarer Company. Let us resume the task at hand. What? What exactly would they have? Because they're more like a travel company. So maybe this is a derivation of the current W Corp's technology? Like they're bending space rather than intersecting dimensions? Or, well, like the space between dimensions, really? Let us resume the task at hand. Senior Ryoshu, give Manager Allen whatever information you have. That door should lead to one of the ring-protected turfs. The other two on the left, I remember they were marked with an X painted with blood. But I... have no idea where they actually lead. It's all blurry. Seems that it's the only information we can provide. Will that suffice? We now know that the doors likely connect to a perceivable area. That's already a big improvement in terms of intel for Wayfarer Company's backdoor mapping process. Which means there's less chance of us encountering a space beyond human perception past those doors. Alright then, I'll proceed with connection verification. Which door shall we test first? We'll start with the one Sinner Ryoshi mentioned. You don't trust me at all, huh? Then why even bring me along? Ignoring Kira's jab, Ellen began setting up various devices on the door, and soon an elegant white door opened before us. Shall we? Art thou joining us as well, young Hohenheim? Just this once, there are procedures for handing over field operations. Okay, let's see what's in there. Is this some kind of wildlife exhibit? The moment we stepped in, the lights hit us all at once, drawing squints and frowns from the sinners. Thanks to my lack of physical eyes, I could make out a room filled with statues or perhaps taxidermied animals. It felt like a gallery of sorts, but it was so quiet that the air itself seemed to carry a strange, somber weight. After a moment, someone shattered the silence, but it wasn't Don Quixote, our usual suspect. Holy shit. The scale is just insane. That's the whale from 8 Association Great Lakes Special Issue. Kira, who'd seemed beaten down all along, exclaimed with a bit more energy in her voice. Man, seeing it in real life sure hits different. And the Indigo Elder Solo one-shots... Indigo Elder Solo one-shots these monsters with that harpoon of his, huh? It's a Great Lake whale. Doesn't look like the one we've encountered, though. Organisms of various sources can be identified here. Singularity, modified, outskirts born. They look almost alive. They're not, right? No, they're not, duh. The Robo-Unk did say that the ring had these zoos where they put monsters on display alive. Man, this would have been way more fun if we could see the moving ones. Everything here's dead. Still looks crazy sick, though. The vibe really hits. Even though she was trying to play it cool, Kira kept sneaking glances at the massive horn display off to the side, clearly surprised in a way she couldn't hide. That said, I felt a distinct shortage of hyperactivity, given the presence of a certain someone in our party. Don Quixote? The eye of a second kindred, of House Tepes. What is it doing here? At the mention of the word kindred, I couldn't help but follow Don Quixote's gaze. Opposite the whale was another kind of exhibit. It contained items leaning on the more gruesome side of things, starting with the crimson eyeball that caught Don Quixote's attention, and body parts like hands and bones looked as though they had been stripped from the human body. It's a gallery. Of the School of Falvism, probably a main studio at that, which comes with a maestro's atelier and an auction house. Alan, we will be making our exit shortly. Prepare to initiate lockdown sequence. Before Hohenheim could even finish his urgent transmission, numerous footsteps closed in from somewhere nearby. Turning toward the sound of shoes clacking on the floor, we found strange figures wearing animal masks staring directly at us. That presence, it's kind of like Papa's. Ain't no way, that's not a raid boss we can clear at our level. We gotta get out of here. It's not that simple. Retreating is not a very viable solution here. This door is connected to the House of Spiders. Escaping without installing a security system will invite pursuit. We must stall them until Alan is ready to initiate the lockdown sequence. Tension thickened. One of the strangers, who wore a peculiar bone mask, stepped forward. The voice that spoke to us carried equal part curiosity and delight. You came through that door. Then how the houses fall. Wasn't it just a baseless rumor? He's got... This part right here, that is from Big Bird, it looks like. Something related to Big Bird. The Dark Forest. A stray little spiderling fallen from her parents' web. How many years has it been? You Who are you? Ah, right. It makes sense that you would fail to recognize me. I used to wear a different mask back then, when I used to visit as your tutor, didn't I? A wolf, if memory serves right. Yes, that must have been when I was quite captivated by the sensation of tearing into the raw, still thrashing flesh of living prey. The predator's ferocious, yet cavernously resonant howling. Rings a bell. You're that maestro whose whole lesson was a 3-hour sermon praising the intensity of primary colors and the strength of living creatures. Benoit, was it? Benoit? That's right, Emile Benoit. And they say you can't hatch a phoenix from a chicken's egg. Doesn't always apply, I see. Looks like that mind of yours is still sly as a raven, unlike your nurse father's. Don't presume. I only remember you because of the tactility of hides and guts, made for a passable AW. At first glance, it looked like Ryoshi was casually taking a trip down memory lane with the maestro, but I had a feeling she was in fact dragging this out on purpose to buy us time. That lockdown sequence thing, how much longer till it's ready? Young Hohenheim, the lockdown sequence. Don Quixote, who had been shooting the ring members, an incensed glare sparkled by the discovery of Kindred's eye, swiftly relayed the words to Hohenheim without even a hint of her earlier shenanigans. I'm afraid the progress and speed of the lockdown sequence lies in Alan's hands, not mine. It is by its nature a time-consuming work. We cannot expect haste. Perhaps that does make it a suitable juncture to trial Plan A. Plan A? Any suggestions that involve Don Quixote removing her shoes will not be dignified with a serious discussion. You cannot remove her shoes! Instead, maybe what Hohenheim had in mind was nothing to do with Don Quixote's shoes, because he opened his mouth as though he was about to retort. That's categorical rejection. But the moment he followed Faust's eyes and saw what she was looking at, he quietly shut his mouth and said nothing further. Faith in potentiality is not something I dislike. As for this, however, this seems more like grasping at straws. At the end of their gaze was Ryoshu's blade, Arayashiki. I was going to try using it anyway. I've long waited to see if a maestro's death is any different. Telling him you were just leaving won't work, will it? No, it won't. Every individual present here would be quite the fascinating specimen to the artist of the ring. We are practically a windfall of inspiration and material that has so conveniently been delivered to them. It is improbable that they will allow us to return unharmed. Faust is right. She and Hohenheim are geniuses, and Ryoshu is the wielder of Arayashiki. Don Quixote is a kindred of a higher generation, and I have to house a golden bow in my head. I have no idea how much information the ring has on us, but even if they knew nothing, they wouldn't let us go so easily. Are you sure about this, Ryoshu? Doesn't matter if I'm SAT or not, Clock. Think of that woman as Lei Hang, and do as you did in the Ichi's mansion. I'll take care of the rest. Right, that's probably our best shot. What Ryoshu meant was quite clear. Resonate with the golden bow, secure an advantage to fight on equal footing, then catch them off guard by slowing down the flow of time. Cover Arayashiki, even if it doesn't give us a real fighting chance, might at least stall the maestro long enough to give us the time to get away. This floor of the exhibit only houses submissions from students and docents. But if you look closely enough, there are some passable ones that show the promise of excellence. And above all, this is the gallery of the School of Falvism, and mine, the gallery of Emile Benoit, which is why I would have preferred to take you without an unnecessary fight if possible. A shame. Still, we're talking about a unique relic here, masterless one at that. Acquiring the Arayashiki makes it worth the cost. If you want a taste. Confusion flickered across Ryoshu's face as she tried to unsheath her blade. What's the matter? How? The lock the House of the Spiders used to bind the Arayashiki no longer exists. So why? Why can't I draw the blade? Now that's unexpected. So the rumors of you mastering that relic, were they false? This is the first time she's looked surprised. Ever. The maestro only gave a loose swing of her arm, but it was enough to make Ryoshu recoil. A shadow of surprise crossed her face. The wound looked like nothing more than a light gash, yet the maestro's contemplative gaze shifted between the blood on Ryoshu's arm and her own as though the attack had been an experiment to prove a hypothesis. It wasn't hard to guess what she was thinking. Notice, did you? I had my doubts from the moment I saw you today. Was the House of Spiders a success or a failure? Tell me, Yoshihide, what do you think a serpent's defining strength is? What do you want about now? Ask any student, and they'll give you the same predictable answers. The deadly venom, the sleek scales. Why, it's lamentably disappointing. The maestro advanced towards us with an assured certainty and seized a beige thread tangling from the ceiling. Now, calling it a mere thread would be wrong. It was something that resembled a thread, yet felt much more disturbing. I, for one, have a particular liking for the jaw and the spine. The flexibility of the spine, linked with the chain, and the jaw, bound not by bone but by ligaments that allow the animal to swallow its prey whole. Perhaps I should have said that I admire their structural refinement. The thrice-coiled ring on her finger gave off a cold glint, and the walls and the ceiling suddenly began to echo with the sickening squelch and crack of flesh and bones assembling. What the hell is that? Which brings me to ask, what better way to claim this delivery of promising material with a single bite than a work of art fashioned from a snake? The maestro plunged her arm into the long serpentine body of the monster. Her sheer presence radiated a pressure as oppressive as that of the nurse fathers, only more primal and untempered. Consider it a privilege. This is the first time this piece has ever been exhibited to an outsider. Hohenheim, is the lockdown sequence still not ready? 1 minute to go. Step aside. The attack from the ego gear Hohenheim hastily brandished didn't even last a moment. The weapon was knocked from his hand. As I scrambled to equip the sinners with their identities, something abruptly stopped the beast-like appendage midway through its hurtling motion. And the one who intercepted the blow... That's big! Shit. Was Kira, struggling to push back against the serpentine arm with her steel-sealed blades. Kira? Did she suddenly have a change of heart I wasn't aware of? Shit. This wasn't the plan at all. Obviously not. She could have changed her mind that quickly. Because the look on her face couldn't be anything other than that of utter regret. The middle, for someone who doesn't seem to have a proper member. Oh, for someone who doesn't seem to be a proper member, you've quite the quantity of tattoos onto yourself. Aha, you must be the new kid Matthias took in. Why do you stand in my way? Fucked if I know. I'm already regretting it, alright? Damn it. They're defo gonna ditch me here. Why did I even... Must be instinct taking over. Couldn't fully shake off the opponent's killing intent, so the body chose to clash head-on. So the behavioral facet of the psyche can be controlled with suitable training. Unexpected data, but sure to be useful. Shut it, mister. Quit yapping and let me use my blades. Authorized and ready. Lifting locks now. Kira's thermal weapons emerged from their sheaths. With a metallic clang, she used the recoil of the motion to skid back and assume a defensive stance. Naturally, that broke Benoit's arm from the deadlock as well. The maestro lashed out again with that monstrous limb, but, it is a foul injustice to strike against an unprepared opponent in a duel. Behold, for I shall allow thee a glimpse of the badass form that only the most renowned of fixers have displayed throughout the ages. Seeing an opening, Don Quixote slammed into the arm with her full might, knocking it off its trajectory. Predictably, however, the sheer force of the maestro's attack instantly reduced her to a red sludge of flesh and bone, sending her remains clashing onto the floor, into the door. Ready to initiate lockdown sequence. I will seal the door immediately upon your exit. Everyone to the door. Faust, retrieve the organic remnants of Sinner number 3. As Faust made her exit to what once was Don Quixote, the students of the ring surrounded Kira, barring her way out. A hollow chuckle slipped out of her lips. Haha. Called it for real. This is exactly why I didn't want to get involved. Taking Kira back with us would mean having a sizable force of the ring trail right behind her through the door. Kira, too, seemed to have realized the risk that no one in their right mind would want to take. She lowered her head in defeat, as though she knew full well the fate that awaited her. I'm such a dumbass. Why was I thinking? Diving in like that? You. Don't just stand there. Get over here now. Huh? But these guys are gonna come flooding in if I... You? TTM. Want to get cleaved in half again? You pin this on me later. You're gonna pay. Blocking the maestro's arm by a hair as it came down on her again, Kira hurled herself towards the door with every bit of strength she could muster. More than a few students rushed in through the doorway, chasing after the sinners who had gone in ahead, but lockdown sequence complete. All backdoor links have been cut. Fortunately, Alan managed to sever the connection between the two back doors before the maestro could cross over. Bolt cut. Think you can still use your arms? I am fine. So she says. Kira would be a strong enough addition to fight for us, but the ring members that have managed to cross-form a rather sizable force. Fighting him off with just the sinners I have at my side would not be the best course of action. In that case, guys, I assume you're all available right now? As soon as I call out to the sinners, their voices come through Hohenheim's radio one after another. Huh? I guess so. Ready for your order, Executive Manager. I, Otis, am prepared to answer your call whenever and wherever. Hang on, I just need to finish this bite. Everyone to me. Okay. I will take a little bit. Stop. Oh, it's a chain battle. Gross. Oh. We have Kira Male and we have Kiro. Damn, she lost that.
짜증나게.
50 damage. Jesus Christ.
누가 누구에게 말을 거는
She's
것이
got a lot of health, but that was a quarter of her health. Just in one attack. Actually, she doesn't have that much health
누구에게
compared
말을
to
거는 거지?
the wall. Marshall counter neutral. 7-6. This is 6-7. 6-7. Oh no. Yeah, this has a slightly better chance of winning. And if it doesn't win, she's still going to inflict
나선 속을 벗어날 수
damage.
없다.
Let's see. Very close to staggering. Now we got him at coloring. That's going to stagger him. That's 2 stagger, pretty much.
No, you failure!
짜증나게.
Sinclair, you failed me for the last time.
방만 남았어도 이 정도쯤은.
Oh, this is Malkuth's reign. Yeah. God, yeah, that kind of throws me off. Like, Malkuth, her sign is broken, but Gebera's is intact. Is it because... Is that because Dante isn't to that point yet? Because Gebera's is intact. Yeah, he needs to get more, I guess, because Malkuth would be the final one. And I guess with the text, an imperfect glimpse of the power that shall reign over the kingdom. Like, this assumes that he's reached... +25 poise, change the skill to swerve? Gain 6 poise and gain +1 poise count? What? Hey, I never actually read this one. The fuck? What is swerve? Oh, it's an evade. Gain shield equal to Moonlit Azure Blade Stack. +4 poise count? Damn, okay. Oh, no, I don't have Faust. I just realized I don't have Faust. So I can't use Thoristalgia. +3 poise. Ooh! He will be positive on the boys. Wow. Okay. just making that. Okay. Okay. Goodness. I would love to explain this battle system more, but I'm trying to not have my characters die a horrible, horrible death. And I want to take this opportunity to eat my food, because I've been talking this entire time, pretty much.
아이씨, 짜증나게.
That's weird. Discord gave me a... Yeah, this one, getting staggered, yeah, that makes sense. Honestly. That's fine. I shouldn't do 2 ego for her in a row. But I'm gonna do it because fuck it. Right, her counter, does it need 6? It needs 6? Oh my god. That's so much. Well, I need to do this again, otherwise Yoshi's just gonna die.
아이씨, 짜증나게.
Sinclair uses Judgment God? That's kind of crazy.
저것들 전부 녹여서 썰어버려도 상관없지?
Rouge is empowered now, but she's hopeless. Hopeless. Oh man, I can't get anywhere. It's lust. I could use it for lust res, maybe? He's only at 10. I Why don't I do this? Her counter has a sparkling effect to it. Interesting. Okay.
나선 속을 벗어날 순 없다.
I don't think I've seen any other ID do that.
아이씨, 짜증나게.
The true Violet Breaking Slam. Based. It's got 5 coins instead of 4. Where's she? Oh, she's right here. Oh, she's gonna have 6, but she doesn't have 2 slots because I put her so late. I want to set up for a bigger turn, so I need lust. Oh, yeah, I'm gonna have more than lust next turn. Yeah. So, like, we're just gonna kill them all.
벗어날 수 있다고 생각했나?
It's only the first door and the impediments are already beyond expected levels. I swear, I thought that was it for me back there. Events of this nature won't be frequent. We were merely beset by ill luck. If you just listened to me and picked another door, it wouldn't have gotten cooked like that in the first place. Like, why even drag me into this if you weren't going to trust me, weirdos? We would have opened them all at the end of the day. SD. SD? What's that? Same difference. Again, why shorten it like that? Just say duh or something. Just spell it out. Or just spell it out and say it was anticipated. That's WA. Good work, everyone. Wayfarer does have a team dedicated to this sort of task, but the mortality rate is quite high. Honestly, I was bracing myself for the worst. The odds of completing the first tour of an expedition without any casualties are under 15%. This, by all measures, counts as a flawless expedition. What the fuck? What do you mean? Tapping away at his device, Alan addressed us with an amicable smile. He seemed to be totally indifferent to the man who had manhandled Kira with the fist to her face. Sorry, let me reread that. He seemed totally different from the same man who had manhandled Kira with a fist to her face. Those Falvists won't be able to cross over anymore with the door completely locked down, right? That cannot be asserted with certainty. Are you saying more might come? The corridors and back doors have always been the ring's turf clock, and those Falvist beasts have endured as a long-standing faction within the ring. If they've got that much history, they must know many back doors, both the origin and destination points. Alan clarified what Ryoshu was thinking. Yes, compared to them, we lack sufficient knowledge of alternate routes, which makes it difficult to prevent infiltration. No need to concern yourselves overmuch. Even if that were the case, it is unlikely that they would move on the House of Spiders so soon. They could always rush in for a surprise attack, though. Even that Falvist Maestro seemed to lack clear intel on the event that took place at the House of Spiders. If so, follows that they will need time to assess and deliberate about the situation. This situation? The logical scope of their concerns will be identifying the organization that has secured the House of Spiders, possibility of additional traps beyond the back doors, and the like. Once all backdoor-related procedures tied to the House of Spiders are complete, the resulting security framework should be able to preempt and block any infiltration attempts. This operation is more important than I thought. That aside, why couldn't I draw the blade? Is that the new scabbard's fault? Ryoshu lifted the sheathed sword with an irritated frown, and that's when I felt a faint vibration. The blade was twitching ever so slightly. That quivering was faint. 'Twas seen by all, indeed. Damn, I saw it too. Is it possessed or something? I have sores on the bottom of my feet that I just noticed. Looks like I wasn't the only one who saw the sword twitching, as though I wasn't pleased at all with how Ryoshu was talking about the scabbard. Ryoshu's gaze lingered on the sword before slowly shifting towards the back doors. Could it be that seeing the scabbard brought back some memory of Araya? Ryoshu, is it an SS? A demon edge? An enchanted blade? Which is it? It's probably neither of those, nor is it a sentient sword. This presents a fine opportunity to conduct another examination of the sword. Excuse us for a second. Team Leader Alan. Please feel free to go ahead. The attack just now damaged some devices, so we're going to have to perform some maintenance before continuing. There's plenty of other work for you to do while you're away, too. Are we to return to the headquarters research facility, then? No, that won't be necessary. There's a facility here that should prove more than adequate. Oh?
이 날카롭고 거친 궤적, 뜯겨나간 실처럼 엉망진창으로 도려내진 이 흉터들. 설마 거미집이 성공한 거야? 잠깐, 그럼 이럴 때가 아니지. 돌아가서 마에스트로 씨에게 말해줘야 해. 이 복도 어딘가에 모든 손가락이 탐낼 만한 걸작이 있다는 걸.
This ID talks a little too much for my liking. Ow. That was very uncomfortable. One moment. My toes were getting cold. Just a little cold. Okay. Now I'm ready to continue. Maybe? Freaking glasses, dude. There we go. I love to get smudged on every little thing. Sorry. Turned out there was a little bit more in my mouth than I thought. Hohenheim brought us to what looked like a research lab, lined with cables, rows of screens, and diagrams full of complex symbols and shapes. I didn't know there was a place like this in the House of Spiders. This is a forward base constructed by Limbus Company following Operation Spider Pyre. It did not exist prior to the house's fall. It was intended for additional backdoor investigation and research into irregular phenomena observed during the operation. Irregular phenomena? An example. Research subjects such as a spatial analysis of the correlation between the emergence of Sinner 11's sign and the manifestation of possible future. Oh. Looking around, I spotted Sinclair and a group of researchers surrounding him, the same people who had dragged him off earlier. They were accompanied by a gaggle of sinners who had tagged along to either watch the show or kill some time while they took a breather after work. Hohenheim, how long did the examination take? Oh, how long will the examination take? With Sinclair's biometric assessment concluded, the analyzer device should be available for the relic now. Which means it should be finished in an hour from now, at the latest. The scabbard rattled again in the mention of an hour. I don't know why or how, but the way it swayed almost felt like a child trembling. It's moving again. Come along, Ryoshu. I expect you want to witness the procedure. Fine. Ryoshu and Hohenheim headed off to the side. The examination was probably going to start immediately. Time to get to Sinclair, then. Wait. I was making my way towards Sinclair, who was getting bombarded with questions, when an unexpected figure behind a pillar caught my eye. It was Vespa Crabro, with a big piece of paper covered in crooked handwriting taped on his back. Snack? Thief? Manager. Karen Snacks. Mr. Stringbean ate all of them up. Sorry, but I think there was a misunderstanding. Verge, kick his ass. Not only is this a matter not worth pointing fingers over, but Karen also shares some of the responsibility for leaving them out on the table unattended. Still, I would prefer you exercise more care next time, or you'll put me in a tough spot. Understood. Karen. Karen. Super silky mode engaged. Not talking for half the day. Deploying super pass bitter candy. Beep beep mode disabled. What? I'm not sure if this is an appropriate request, but may I remove the paper from my back now? It's a little inconvenient for me. Karo forgives this time. Next time, no mercy. Best make sure she doesn't listen to that radio channel again. Virgilius looked on with an inscrutable expression as Karen peeled the snack thief sign off of Vespa's back. Make sure to remember this, so I don't have to think I'm burning through what little candy chance I have. On such trivial nuts, burning what little candy chance I have. On such trivial nonsense. Thank you. Vespa gave a polite thanks, but he was already picking something off of another plate and stuffing it into his mouth. Wait a minute, I was saving that for later. I assumed you were being picky. Well, now you know, yet I see yet I still see you gobbling up my share. Ugh, he took my snack too, Verge, kick his ass. Rodion Romanovich. I am aware that half the snack total allocated to each sinner is being funneled into your snacking expenses, and now you're raiding the LCE supplies as well. Chill, that's totes been agreed on, okay? Besides, that's that, and this is this. That's that, and this is this. Wait, what? The lines on Virgilius's brow looked deeper than usual today. Hoping to help him out of this endless cycle of snack-related headaches and to satisfy my own nagging curiosity, I drew near our guide and broke his brooding silence with my TikToks. Do we learn anything about Sinclair's sign? Dante is inquiring about the outcome of the research on the sign. I've heard from the researchers, but nothing of particular significance came out of it. Observation of the sign so far has been limited to 2 individuals, the manager and Sinclair, due to the limited accessibility to the phenomena. The only verifiable information has so far been its existence. Researching that which cannot be observed is bound to be difficult. Else, as a point, aside from Sinclair, none of the sinners can actually see the sign. And the same would go for the researchers. Even Sonia said only a select few people could perceive it. If there were more individuals bearing signs, there would be a wider pool for a comparative analysis of statistical samples to narrow down the scope. However, records indicate no suitable reference exist. At present, the research effort is limited to reducing variables such as whether or not the irregular phenomena are tied to the location where the battle took place. By individuals bearing signs, do you mean people like Damien and Sanson? Oh wait, then could those guys do what Sinclair did? Pull in some superpowered future self and just wreck everything? Even Sonia? I should step in and put an end to this subject before Rhodia gets the blues. I don't think so, from what Ishmael and Faust reported back then. Right, Sinclair from the future said each sign carries a different power, I think. Maybe, those layers of light rings Damien used to finish off Cromer or Sanson dragging us into his story. Those could be it. Aye, that doth seem possible. So none of that information can be confirmed yet. Correct. As you have stated, any discussion of the subject would not venture beyond the realm of wild speculation. Nothing has been proven yet, ergo, fear would be an unnecessary response at present. This is, at best, grounded in supposition, but it would seem that the researchers are coaxing forth the hypothesis from the messages left in the wake of Sinclair's future self. Oh, that bit about the sign maybe being some singularity or whatever, yeah? The precise position of this hypothesis was that the fundamental principles of the sign's working may be equivalent to those of the singularities or relics. But it has no actual evidence. But as no actionable evidence was obtained from Sinclair, there is presently no means by which this hypothesis may be validated. Sorry, I'm responding to a text. I see. then nothing came out of them dragging Sinclair off for that research. Oh, you also thought I was being dragged off, but still let it happen anyway? No, I mean... I'm kidding. I just thought I'd try going along with the mood. The old Sinclair wouldn't have even thought to joke around like that. He's really changed lately. For the better, I think? So, did anything happen that we should worry about? I stuck close to him just in case. Nothing serious came up. Just took some blood, a small skin sample. Oh, and they were also checking if the sign reacts to electrical stimulation. Yeah, and I had to fill out some questionnaires too. Things like, please describe what you remember from the battle exactly as it happened. List the sensations you felt when you regained consciousness. And your memories of that moment have yet to return? No, I don't know if they'll ever come back, actually. Voss said that they only exist within my future self, so... Wait, but for my future self to even have those memories, shouldn't I carry them in the first place? Which one comes first? Paradox, it would seem. In such a case... That Sinclair is merely one branch among many possible futures. The future unfurls into boundless branches by means of ceaseless bifurcation. The body of information that constitutes a certain future would scatter into grains more fleeting than dust, to diminish, to ever reverse their course and trace their path back to the self that now exists. Is that theory suggested? It's not a certainty, but a plausible interpretation. Here you go again, more of that nonsense only you lot understand. Boy, memory or not, that future guy still came out of him, didn't he? Then some part of him's gotta be left in there somewhere, yeah? Like muscle memory or whatever. Perhaps he can still pull off some of those tricks from back then. Tricks from back then? Heard you kicked off proper out there. You even pulled out that trick you picked up from that, blasted old geezer, right? Not just that, he was using Hmong technique quite effortlessly, too. What? That glowing ring thing? Yep, the glowing ring thing. He had 2 of them coiled around his weapon. I used the glowing ring thing? This is the first time I'm hearing about it. Alright, so what exactly is that glowing ring thing? Anyone? Maybe some technique that enhances physical capability? I mean, I guess that flashy aura that makes you real tough, one part of it, but there's gotta be more, right? Are they finally explaining this? Dunno. Could be a secret finger thing they passed down to their members. Technique? Gear? Something like that. Look at it. That Black Coney leader. That Lei Hang prick. And the nurse fathers we fought. Whole lot of them fingers, ain't they? The notion seems to unravel, for even amongst the LCD, there were those who came to wield it. And Virgilius, too. So what? Only the proper hard bastards can use it? Some posh top-end trick, is it? Without anyone in particular prompting it, the sinners slowly turned their gaze towards Virgilius and Vespa. I only learned to wield it from my team leader, too. I have a sensory understanding of Shin, but can claim nothing too profound. However, what I can spare are some rumors, though they are without proper source. Rumors? They circulated among elite fixers and association leadership that there exists a power called Shin, capable of enhancing the body without having to pay expensive upkeep costs. A rumor among fixers, sayest thou? Yeah, everything in the city costs money. One sec. Sorry. Adjusting. Yes, even the technique to manifest it. How-to tips really spread through hearsay. Oh yeah? That tracks. That Super Rookie column in the latest mag bonus vid? Bro was really popping off with it. Straight up aura farm with the shiny Hmong wrapped around the weapon. It must be that mine eyes are yet to be privy to seeing such a marvel in a video. Wait, you serious? It's in the latest issue. Literally on the videotape in the back. Maybe you missed it? Videotape? For many weeks have I been stranded from Mephi, leaving me of a chance to read not only the prior chronicle, but the latest one as well. Woe is me. When I return, I shall feast through the night upon those noble exploits of adventuring fixers. As Don Quixote dramatically spiraled into a state of utter dejection, Otis cut into the conversation, her gaze narrowing with suspicion. From what I recall, the Mantle of Shin grants its users a high degree of physical enhancement. There's no such thing as reinforcement without supplies. No power of that magnitude comes without an equivalent cost to wield it. That power relies on emotion and will for manifestation. its output is not consistent like prosthesis and augmentation. And depending on how it's used, the consequence it demands can reach levels comparable to the ego you use. You mean to say that it exacts a toll upon the mind? I can walk you through the fundamentals if you'd like. From what I observed, it appears to be a technique reserved for those of considerable strength. Our current level, is it not unreasonable to assume that we can make use of it? Regarding that, our team leader has been conducting intensive research, and according to her, physical strength itself has little bearing on one's ability to learn and wield Shin. As the Yellow Harpoon says, it is in essence a power that can be learned by almost anyone provided they know the proper method of training. Vespa's brows visibly twitched the moment the Yellow Harpoon left Virgilius's lips. Yeah, it doesn't seem like he's a big fan of his own title, the Yellow Harpoon. Huh. Well, it fits, I think. He's got those yellow stripes on his clothes and he uses a harpoon, too. Can you argue with that? If I were to exaggerate, even Sinner Yi Sang's pre-contract self could manage to learn it. Why must this self of mine be chosen as the point of comparison? Well, because you're the wimpiest one here. Don't let it get to you. Ah. Even so, it would be a mistake to assume it's a power anyone can grasp with ease. As long as you are bound by contract as sinners, your ability to wield it will be severely limited. Unless you rely on particular identities or come up upon an extraordinary circumstance. Shame that. Would have been useful. Hey, then what about me? Can I learn it too? Kira, who had been finishing with her fingers, raised an arm and asked as though she couldn't hold the question back any longer. Come to think of it, the middle nurse father didn't use any Shinama. Papa never taught me how to use it. He always said I could get stronger without a stupid crutch like that. It wasn't that he didn't teach you. He couldn't. He was a man who probably never once reflected upon his own sins. A piece of trash like him would be incapable of even comprehending such a power in the first place. Vespa's responses always come back brimming with venomous hate whenever the conversation turns to the topic of the fingers. He really, really, really hates them. Kira must have noticed too, or perhaps she simply couldn't find the right words to push back. Either way, she held her tongue, her expression settling into a blend of frustration and something that looked a little too close to sadness. If you want to reduce it to a yes or no, then yes, you'll be able to learn it with the odds in your favor. That is assuming that the company decides to tolerate your, continued existence. I already said I get it. As it stands, you're nothing more than a pending case of disposal, closer to a threat than you are to an ally, strictly speaking. Don't get comfortable because the manager and the sinners treat you with lenience. Step out of line and you will be the one who pays the price. There was nothing in what Virgilius said that I could argue with. Kira had been a member of the House of Spiders. She murdered scores of LCE researchers and left us with plenty of memories we'd rather not revisit. For now, we're just working together. Not contesting that decision doesn't mean we have no hard feelings toward her. Leaving Kira alone with her thoughts, the sinners slipped back into their own business. Snacks, idle chatter, conversations about whatever had happened around LCE. The examination is concluded. I suppose it won't be an issue to let you hear the results together. Before we knew it, Hohenheim and Ryoshi returned. Oh, we're about to hit another story segment, aren't we? Renkatsuen? That's not a name I'm familiar with. To present the conclusion first, no, the notion of the sword being a sentient one is incorrect. The locus of the will is not the blade but the scabbard. An ego formed in a rather paradoxical nature. Yes, that would be the most appropriate description. Not a sentient sword, huh? Ryoshi's grumpy dismissal made the scabbard quiver almost as if it had taken offense. Somehow it felt like I could understand what Hohenheim meant by will now. It was a reunion of sorts, one that gave both a tinge of sadness and hope. If the scabbard has its own will, does that mean the owner of that will can be resurrected? It is too premature to deliberate on the matter. The state of existence under question is not one that may be defined as death at the moment. I assume that they asked whether it can be revived or brought back to life, so to speak. Even supposing that survival is a fixed variable and that the reconstitution of the original corporeal body falls within the realm of theoretical possibility, the probability approaches zero given the limits of today's technology and conditions. We researchers are inclined to entertain even infinitesimal chances, but in the terminology of the lay people like yourself, such a prospect would be labeled impossible, wouldn't it? There's no need to fixate on the impossibilities of the present, Manager Dante. Such matters are reserved for us scientists to hold on to. Right. But we may have uncovered a threat, something that could lead to restoring Senior Ryoshi's memories. Though, again, that too is merely a possibility. Excuse me. A far more practical avenue for you to pursue at the moment, nevertheless. And to that end? Yes. Further analysis on the scabbard itself would be necessary. Coordinate with Alan for your next duty. You should still be in the ring nurse father's quarters. That will be all. Hohenheim cut himself off there, clamping his mouth shut as if any further exchange might scatter and mess up the theories he'd constructed in our conversation. Alright then, before we go, anyone want to tag along? Munching on food, averting their gaze, these sinners were pretending they weren't interested at all. But going by the way their forks had long stopped moving, it was pretty clear to me they had been intently listening in on our conversation. Where are we to go? Ah, right. Sorry, forgot the rest of you weren't there with us earlier. Faust, Don Quixote, Ryoshu, and I have been checking where each backdoor leads. Oh, and Kira too. The prisoner of war, executive manager? We talking about me? Yeah, I guess. Why do I suddenly get hiccups? I get hiccups. Oh my god. Okay. Hopefully they're gone. Yeah, I guess. I'm working with them too, yeah? Best remember to tread carefully. Should you cause even the slightest harm to the executive manager, you will be held accountable without exception. Yeah, sure. Whatevs. Kira needled at Otis with a mocking pout, but oddly enough she didn't appear particularly irritated. Anyway, I think it'd be better off if we had a few more people, just to be safe. One of those doors we went into earlier led straight to the ring's corridor. That was a close call. Otis and Heathcliff's hands shot up the moment I finished speaking. I would very much like to accompany you, my executive manager. I know I could rely on you, Otis. Your recognition of my loyalty honors me, executive manager. I, Otis, understand better than anyone your concern about the peril of working with a prisoner of war so liable to betray. To have your indispensable self proceed with only a handful of soldiers in her command, this cannot stand. I'm afraid you won't be able to focus on other duties without personally seeing to your safety. I get it, Otis. You've made your point clear enough. Not keen on how I just keel over the moment you summon me. Feels a bit dodgy, that. Better I stick to your side and scrap it out myself. Probably don't need me to come along then. I guess you can just summon the rest of us like you did earlier if shit hits the fan. Research, yet unfinished, holds my efforts. I shall join you once it has found closure. I don't think it can be much help wherever you're going. I'll pass. I will follow you if that is your order, manager. No, it's fine. Just get some rest. It'll probably be okay. I can always summon them again when things get too dangerous. For now, I should go see Alan again. Yeah, sorry, tea. Is this finally another combat node? Oh, I went on from it. Please tell me this is a combat node so I can eat a little bit. Ah, you've arrived. I was waiting for you. We sifted through and isolated the doors with the highest probability of leading into the ring's gallery. The next step would be to enter the alternate door you mentioned, but... Hold up a sec. I was actually gatekeeping most stuff. Huh? Gatekeeping? Are you saying you have more to tell about gates? Doors? Yep. That door over there. Pretty sure it connects to N-Corp's nest. I saw Albina going in, all hyped about some canned... whatever it was. And that wooden door with bandages wrapped around the handle. Papa go in there to cross out vengeances. From what the book said, it's probably a turf protected by a thumb subsidiary or something. Like earlier when she offered only vague snippets, even about just a single door, Kira was now feeding Alan a stream of intel that seemed solid even to someone as clueless about the back doors as me. She's more cooperative than anticipated. Even after that Alan character roughed her up, from what I hear. Yeah, you'd think she'd clam up out of spite. I wonder if she changed her mind about cooperating with us. Nevertheless, we mustn't let our guard down, Executive Manager. There's no telling when she'll turn on us. Freaking, I can literally hear everything you're saying, you know. Alright then, based on the intel, please proceed by investigating the safest doors first. So the high-risk ones, I'll continue checking and let you know which ones we need to enter. Alan tinkered with the devices around him and flashed a couple of doors with blue light. Guess that means we start with those. Where do you guys want to go first? They all look about the same. Just start with the closest one. Well, Alan did say these are the safest ones, so it shouldn't matter which one. Just as I reached for the nearest door as Heathcliff called me to, Ryoshu suddenly veered off, stopping in front of another one that stood a few steps apart. This door. It feels familiar. You recognize that door? I think I passed through it a few times when I was little. Hardly had Ryoshu stopped speaking when a fragmented memory, painted over in parts, slipped into my memory. Sorry. It hurt a lot, didn't it? I should have finished my homework faster. Oh, I know, let's go for a walk. But I don't recall much about it. That memory just now, could it be tied to Araya? Let's start with that door. Okay, this one, yeah? Here we go. Impatient as ever, Heathcliff shoved the door open and strode in first. The rest of us followed, including Kira and the other sinners. And this place is... Judging by its state, it seems to be a welfare facility located within a nest. Most likely a park. Every sod walking here is dragging some animal along. Means they've got money to burn. Proper rich, the lot. This place? The walk, the past Ryoshu mentioned in her memory, and the sight of people fussing over their pets. The pieces clicked together and I voiced the other memory I saw back at the House of Spiders. Did you ever come here with a puppy named Saru? Yeah, I remember that. Not a puppy, though. Saru was a bit bigger by then. Sorry, it hurt a lot, didn't it? I should have finished my homework faster. Why isn't she getting any better? I gave her lots to eat. Oh, I know. Want to go for walkies? You love walkies, don't you, Saru? There's this workshop Dad always visits. The door is... Oh, the door there is connected to a park. We can go right by now. Yoshi's childhood memory burned bright in my vision before passing. That was her as a kid. Verily, such gentleness does seem most unlike thee, young Ryoshu. Hey, Clock. Who said you could show them my memories willy-nilly? No, okay, come on. You know it's not something I can control. GG. Back in the House of Spiders, I was the only one who could see the vision of Ryoshu's past. This time, though, her memory seemed to manifest for everyone around, just like we experienced in H-Corp with Honglu. Which probably means... Why are you all staring at me? That's so random, what the hell? Did you not just see that now? See what? You guys zoning out together? Guess it doesn't apply to Akira. Then again, unlike how it was between Lin Dayu and Honglu, Kira doesn't have any direct connection to Ryoshu. Guess it makes sense. Was that adorable hound my companion to young Ryoshu? Indeed, my one and only best friend. And because of that, Saru would be locked away in the vault every time I had to depart on an assignment, with a spiral driven through her. The first ever leash. Looking back, it might have been a kinder fate had she died sooner. To inflict such cruelty upon a voiceless animal. How could such wickedness be born? What happened to Saru in the end? She died before her time. I don't recall why, but there was this day when Saru wouldn't stop whimpering in pain and I shut myself in my room, crying. You? Where? Not someone else? Who else? Oh, see, it was me. Even after witnessing the fragment of memory, Heathcliff looked utterly unconvinced. Wait. Wait, what if these aren't actually Ryoshu's memories? What if these are Araya's? And she's just placing herself in Araya's boots for these memories. While I was grieving, Callisto offered a solution. Said he would give me a gift the next day. And what I received was something he called the Beast Bone Blade, a tanto that would whine and yelp in Saru's voice with every swing. Ew, no way. I always knew he was something creepy with robot unk, but that's how he killed your dog, huh? No, he didn't kill Saru. The tanto was alive. Did you just say alive? What? Bloody hell, right nutter, that psycho. Her eyes were embedded in it like endorments, and they'd stare at me in accusation. The tiny heart beat as though she was still quaking with fear. It was a horrible sight, and I felt pity. So I shortened what remained of her time with my own hands. Got me thinking after hearing all that. Why do you still mess with that art thing, then? Let's be honest. After seeing something like that, you'd want to steer well clear, yeah? Right? Those things he called artworks were also cursed. Straight up nightmare fuel. Like, I haven't really checked out other ring artworks outside Albina and her nurse fathers, so maybe I'm just a noob when it comes to all that, but yeah, their stuff never gave me any art vibes for real. I thought the same. Well, I was terrified at first, yet as I learned more, there were some facets that suited my taste. Thou findest appeal in those grotesque creations? From what you've told me about Callisto, it looks like he failed to stick to his own advice. But there's something he always used to say. Art is wholly subjective, and thus one must never expect the understanding of others. The uncanny, the horrible, there's a beauty that lies in the grotesqueness of it all. Can't say I quite get it, but if you say so. Nah, but bloody hell, how do you end up getting used to that kind of thing? What do you need to understand? You're not an artist. I got used to it, but that bastard Callisto's installation artworks caused night terrors and nightmares for... Scabbard moved, and Ryoshu came to a pause. Trembled, but there was at once a strange liveliness to it, as though it quivered between fear and anticipation. Night terrors, crying from nightmares. In the House of Spiders? There's actually someone who got scared of ring stuff back in your day. I need to check something. We've seen enough here. Let's go back. Yeah, nothing else worth checking around here anyways. The inspection complete, we quickly followed Ryoshu back. She stood in front of the artworks covered in sheets of cloth, lost in thought. Right here, there used to be a huge artwork displayed here. Don't know what kind of impulse struck him, but the bastard went about fussing, saying he needed to practice so he wouldn't lose his touch. Mommy? What's wrong? Oh, over there. Thought I told you to keep the exhibition in your room. Ah, you've returned, Yoshihide. Decided to attempt installation art of a somewhat larger scale this time, but I ran out of space in my gallery. Mommy, people were screaming. Dearest Yoshihide, Araya has reached an age where she may be introduced into the world of aesthetics. Surely this wouldn't be a problem. It would. You liking it, and me acquiring the taste doesn't mean Araya will. Let's get you back to your room. I was hugging something in my arms. It was crying. Saru? No, too big to be Saru. The lacerated memories can never be made into a whole, no matter how many fragments are glued together. We could tell Ryoshu everything we knew about Araya, but it never truly reached her. I see this hollow void. This must be Araya. Sensation and emotion for what's been empty begin to tangle with Ryoshu's memories. And that makes it possible for us to reminisce about Araya together. The soft rattle Araya gave seemed to show how pleased she was with this small step. Alright, time to check out the next door. We entered several more back doors that Alan pointed out, but unfortunately none of the places we ended up at stirred Ryoshu's memories any further. Pretty much nothing here. I think we're done. What? How'd they get in here? Startled Kira pointed ahead, where figures wearing animal masks were hauling what looked like massive lumps of flesh hidden behind a tent of sorts. Those ring assailants from before? Didst thou not say thou hast sealed the door earlier? How then do these villains come to stand before us once more? Probably infiltrated via an entirely separate route. Another back door. As I can see, their objective appears to be the retrieval of the Ring Nurse Father's artworks. Get on with it! We need to move as many pieces as we can before we pull out. Wait, but I thought Robo-Onk was washed. You got so many fanboys and fangirls here? Ha! Does this artwork possess value in and of itself? Or is it just a case of posthumous premium of death effect? Think about it. some of these pieces have already been taken. Of course, they are of little value to both our companies. Watching them sweating and struggling to drag those mediocre pieces with them. Pretty funny. But imagining how those pieces will be labeled with some pathetic notion of heritage connected to my name on their description plaques, pretty unsavory. They may be occupied with transporting those objects for now, but they will likely soon find cause to harm the Wayfarer and LCE personnel stationed here, Executive Manager. It would be prudent to eliminate them without delay, considering the ring's reputation. Otis is right. Better would have wiped them out than try anything stupid. Guys, looks like we'll have another job to do. Let me a hand. The radio didn't buzz with the Simmer's replies this time, but it should be fine. Are we sure it's gonna be fine? Yeah, I'm doing this.
아이씨, 짜증나게.
피가 튀겠고.
꽂았노? 모두가 너를 잊어도 반드시 되찾을 거다.
I'm watching my model while I was chewing, and it looked like I had my mouth open the entire time, but my mouth was very much closed.
반만 남았어도 이 정도쯤은.
There's a lot of story in this chapter, and I think that's very good. But, goddamn. There was just so much thrown in all at once that's actually really important to understanding Ryoshu.
나선 속을 벗어날 순 없다.
Oh, God damn it.
짜증나게.
He lost the clash. He's not number one. I can't force SP gain. So I'm just gonna be stuck at a deficit for for Heathcliff. Nice.
나선 속을 벗어날 순 없다.
Nice. Nice. I can get the 6 MV res, and then we can activate.
모두가 너를 잊어도 반드시 되찾을 거다.
Activate. Activate the funny thing.
아이씨, 짜증나게. Yep. What's Stagger? Oh, Isung. Yeah, typical. He's not a very burly boy. +1 points count. Yeah, I need to include Thorsalgia on this team. So I really could use Ring
심장 멈췄군.
oh, why can't I think of her name? Ring Faust.
아이씨, 짜증나게.
Oh,
바이올렛 브레이크 슬램.
that's cool. Her augmentation tattoos has the middle style crossed down on them. Oh, I don't have enough envy, I think. Or, no, it's pride. It's pride and lust. Well, that's not going to be an issue next turn. I definitely want Kira Mail to be earlier in the deployment order too, so she gets her coins faster. spend so much time in between actually being able to, oh, well, that's decent damage. I spend so much time in between being able to actually,
벗어날 수
like,
있다고
put the teams
생각했나?
together, that I just simply forget.
벗어날 수 있다고 생각했나?
What? Wait, if this unit does not have reflection? Oh. I see. Yeah, so it's just to time her out from being able to spam her stronger counter. Because you can use it, technically speaking, every single turn. Yeah, that makes sense. Can't really fault that.
보지 않나?
아이씨, 짜증나게.
That was a completely different skill. What? Do I not understand her kit? With this, the last of the ring's infiltrators have been eradicated. Is that all of them? Ryoshu kept glancing around as if searching for someone, but fortunately, no other ring members were in sight. Right, but where the hell were those lot coming from anyway? Weren't there just the first wave? Had more of the sods laying it from the back line like they've been lurking somewhere else. According to the tracking logs recorded by the surveillance devices installed here, they appeared to have crossed over from another corridor. Another corridor? What precisely does the designation another corridor refer to? A room resembling a shopping mall, the one filled with batches of toys on display? Your company, if I recall correctly, designated it as the corridor of the middle nurse mother. Oh. I suggest we relocate there. Your assigned tasks here have been wrapped up. Oh, and before we set off, do you have any information to share in advance? We are planning to compile a comprehensive encyclopedia cataloging the notable characteristics of these corridors and all of their connection iosi. Loci? Loci. That's loci. And all of their connection loci. Your cooperation will be most appreciated. Kira seemed to be hesitant, gnawing at her nails as she were going through an inner struggle. Before long, however, she snapped out of it like she'd just been locked in on a decision. Sure, I got stuff to tell you, like hella stuff. Some parts are kind of fuzzy, not gonna lie, but I can still recall like 20 places clear enough. I mean, it was home for me and Papa, so... I got nothing. I never once regarded that fucker's room as a home. My memories of it are all fragments at best. Scabbard gave a faint, restless stir. Perhaps it wanted to comfort Ryoshu in the only way it could. And unaccompanied by its tremors, began to move toward the corridor at the middle.
이 날카롭고 거친 궤적, 뜯겨나간
I-
실처럼 엉망진창으로 도려내진 이
I
흉터들.
have 252.
설마 거미집이
And of
성공한
course,
거야?
1,000 because he's a
잠깐,
three
그럼 이럴 때가
star.
아니지. 돌아가서 마에스트로 씨에게 말해줘야 해.
The new Mirso
이
is a
복도
3-star.
어딘가에 모든 손가락이 탐낼 만한 걸작이 있다는 걸.
Why did they make him a 3-star? I mean, okay, he's better than the other 2 stars in some regards. He's better. Well, okay, that's not really a binary thing. It's more like he's definitely better in comparison to some of the early 2 stars. He didn't really serve a purpose. But nowadays, basically all of them serve a functional purpose on a team because the archetypes have been found out. Like, if we want to look at some really, really bad, purposeless design, fucking Soda. Fucking Soda? 1 and 2? God. And these were ego. So they were not cheap to get. But yeah, I mean, I have all but one of the ego in the game too, so that's fun. And I have most of the IDs still. I'm only missing these 2 and then that. And obviously I still need to get Mirsos from the dispense. But I mean, that's because I physically haven't played enough to get the dispense yet. But that's gonna have to wait for later. Anyways, thank you for watching. I am Wisteria Cassiopei. I don't think you should go to bed tonight. Well, I mean, excuse me. I don't think you should be going to bed this early, but if you want to, you can. You can take a nap. What else? What else should I say? It's been a pleasure, and I hope to see you eventually, not too long in the future. Okay? So, bye. Have yourself a great fucking day.